right, we'll call this meeting to order. First thing, review and approve January 20, 2026 minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Review and approve February 3rd, 2026 warrant.
To be approved.
Second.
All in favor? County Regional Assessing Acres of Wildlife Select Board Statement Request.
I don't know much about them recent ones.
Foreclosure.
Well, there was one was the Dion, wasn't it, where they, said they didn't get the tax bill or the vehicle wasn't there.
This one, yeah, that's more, that's on for a foreclosure.
Well, it wasn't a foreclosure, yeah.
Cause I
Or
thought,
it was an abatement, but,
I didn't see any statements, they were complaining that, they hadn't been camping there since 2022?
2021.
2021.
I believe that did go into foreclosure.
Yeah, and so Deb sent them out a notice, but they got, the form here says it was there in 2023. I got that from Rob, so, as far as I'm concerned, it's being foreclosed on. I talked to Deb, Saturday, campers are considered real estate, and that will go on their credit if they don't pay it. So we can take that, do nothing, it goes on their credit, and when it comes time for them to get a loan or something, they'll be there, they'll have to pay it.
Yeah. So you're talking in the extended version of this game where you're assuming they're not gonna pay it, and then,
Yeah.
you know, rather than spend $3,000 to bring them to court for a $250 fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it goes that way, you might pony up and pay it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't recommend we approve it.
I
No.
move that we not approve it.
Yeah,
Right.
second.
Yeah.
We see a lot of these people skirting their, property taxes with acres of wildlife.
Yeah, I think that's it's a big pain.
It is.
Yeah.
It takes me a couple hours to sort through the foreclosure list to, sort out the acres of wildlife ones, but.
Yeah, by the time it's foreclosed on, they moved it out and it's gone and it's sold to someone else and it's really taken.
The state says they've got a system that prevents this type of abuse, which is, before you can move a camper on the road, you supposed to get a certification that they paid the taxes from the town, and, but they don't, people just kind of hook up and carried away,
Yeah,
and.
yeah.
And then you chase them for it, and you never pay.
They register to be on the road, and there they go, yeah.
So it's the system doesn't work. I thought, Senator Libby was gonna clean that up this last session, but it devolved into something else and failed. But anyway.
The second request, had to do with a change of address where Cumberland County, is uncertain as to when the address got changed, but the owner, states that they didn't get a bill for a couple of tax. They got a bill, and then they stopped getting a bill, and then they got a bill again, and they got the foreclosure notice.
Yeah.
But because there was a few times there where they didn't get a bill, they want those fees on the notices and foreclosures waived because they didn't get a bill. So she's not denying the fact that they owe back taxes, but she would like to have some of the fees waived if possible. Because she said she didn't get those bills.
I mean, when someone, it would have been a certified something that said, right, Debbie would have record of, if somebody signed for it. Yeah.
Well, people don't always sign, and,
So what are the fees involved with that?
so this total tax bill here is for $1,800, $1,826. Wow. Looks like 5 years.
They moved from one lot to another, with a camper. I don't know if it was the same camper or not, but, as I said, somewhere along the line, the address got changed. They stopped receiving bills, and then it got changed back or something or other, and then they got bills again.
Yeah,
So
somehow the address got changed, and it was,
they didn't know if it was a system error or what.
So which one of these are we talking about? It looks like there's two different, one is Tim and Diane Keenan.
Yes, it's them, but what happens is with these,
Oh, I
tax-
see.
yeah, so you can have multiple owners on that one map and lot, because they sell, they move out, they don't stay, and then somebody else comes in behind them. So the map and lot always stays
I
the
see,
same, but
yeah.
you're gonna see a progression of different owners on that one account, which is confusing.
Okay,
yeah.
I see,
was
okay.
confused for that one too.
So, what I don't see here is a statement of what they're gonna pay and what they want waived.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for too.
What's on that receipt, Bob, there? Is that something
This
that?
receipt is, for $145. Was paid, back in 2021. And then I see at the bottom of this page, a summary of, I think it's a summary of the taxes due for, $1,826.78, and then I see a calculation here, $1,400.64, which maybe is backing up some of the interest fees, but. Is that over there? I'm sorry.
ask a question? So, the people that have the units at Acres of Wildlife, is it because they're not registered?
Right.
Okay.
The seasonal campers, they leave there all year round, so they can get around the paying tax on if they register.
Right.
Right.
Right, okay, that's what I
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have people in our neighborhood that are living in travel trailers,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Yeah, as long as they're registered, they're fine, but,
yeah.
yeah.
So I got a question, so if they're registered, they pay tax?
Right,
Yes.
yeah,
If they're not registered, just 6 months?
right,
Okay.
right,
Well, you're speaking of two different things.
but,
Talking about like Acres of Wildlife, the campground, they can get around paying taxes at Acres of Wildlife
By registering.
by registering.
Right.
it.
By register?
yeah,
Yes, so they could actually, if they wanted to, pull up stakes and take it on the road, because it's essentially like a camper registration, like a
Mhm.
car registration. So they have a choice, either they pay property tax on it because it sits there, or they register it for the
So they're
road,
paying for the registration of the trailer?
if they choose to go that route.
Okay.
If not, then they get a bill from the town for tax
For tax?
of their property.
If they're there for more than 6 months?
No, it's because,
They actually have fee simple property there? Where they own property?
they're essentially like renting or leasing that
Lease-
lot, right? Is that how
leasable lot,
it?
yeah.
But there's like lots there that they
Yeah.
actually?
Well, that safety, I'm sure what it is, I thought about this, I'm sure that saves the bigger tax bill for the campsite, because then they just
They spread it around.
spread it around to the minuscule lots and
They don't own
assuming,
so,
yeah.
it, they don't own it.
no, no. Some people choose to leave their camper there year round, and then they pay a seasonal fee, and the campground will close it for them, they'll winterize it for them, and those are the ones that usually don't get registered, and that's the ones we get.
But they're not actually owning property there?
No,
No.
no, no. And they'll put them down as,
The use tax.
yeah,
Tax,
yeah.
okay. It's a strange one there.
It's a weird setup, I don't know,
I can see them paying for registration or vehicle, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But and part of the campground is in Standish, and then the other part is in Baldwin. So the ones that are in Standish get a tax bill from Standish, and the ones in Baldwin get a tax bill from Baldwin. So it kind of confuses things sometimes. But
And they can move from Spanish to Baldwin anytime they want.
depending upon where it is, April 1st, they
Yeah.
pay taxes.
So, good. Now, here's a chance where we might actually get someone to pay something on the camper. So, the request is that we, it's foreclosed, it's town-owned property. If we, agree on something here today, then, whatever we agreed to do is, I think we'll have to give them a quitclaim deed. But they're looking for some kind of relief on the fees and the costs. You know, the cost is what Debbie's costs are to send out the paperwork and whatnot, file with the registry and so forth. And then the interests are interests that accrued during the period when they're not paying the taxes. So if you look at the interest and costs together, they add up to about $400. So and what we would receive is to be about $1,400 in taxes. So I would move that we, forgive the, $400 worth of interest and costs.
That was, this slip here?
No, this slip is
Oh,
for
okay.
taxes. It doesn't show here.
Oh, this, oh, yeah.
So, I move it be that we, forgive $400 worth of fees and costs.
Because the address was messed up with the address and,
Yeah.
you know, could have been our fault, cause of,
Well, I don't know what's called that.
yeah. Second it.
Yeah, I'll play along with that one.
Okay. Alright.
$400.
Alright. Fire department, fire chief recommendation for appointment, deputy chief Jacob Bradway. They had a meeting, they voted for Jacob to be town chief. And he's stepping down. Here,
Sticking with Jacob, I think he's pretty sharp.
yeah, he just completed all of his qualifications and,
Yeah, I mean, you got the endorsement of the people that work for him,
right,
with him, so.
that's what we always have done.
I would move to, approve the appointment.
Second.
All in favor?
One of the other things they were gonna do at that meeting, I haven't got any feedback yet, but they were gonna talk about their desires, plans for a new fire station. Remember that I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I can ask them what came out of that.
And, Don Sharp is meant to be on there. Buffalo River Corridor Commission.
We don't have appointment paper for him yet?
Yeah. Sherry Dunning sent it over. Should be right there.
Right there, 'cause he just needs to be on.
Okay, yeah.
But there's an email there, that basically, you know, there's two positions, but which we can,
You can still want it,
yes, so the second one is viewed, which I didn't realize is like an alternate position, but she kinda details out, if Don wants to read that, how that works.
so it'd be an alternate then.
Yeah, so basically, like anything, you'd have, from what she explained, she said a lot of towns just, usually one of them goes, so that's how they kinda alternate with it.
Seems like strange.
I know, yeah, I
That's one of my
know, you'll be at every one of them, but, you know, you
So
have
the
right,
announcement on the,
the right to discuss, but not the right to vote.
something I'd be interested in. What is that, like a meeting every once in a while, or what is?
I don't know, what do they mean?
Once a month, it's on Wednesday night,
Is it once a month?
in different towns.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
It's through the, up and down the corridor.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
You wanna read that, Donna?
Yeah.
Extra copy, kind of how she explained it.
Do we have
Probably a little more eloquent
somebody
than I did,
appointed?
but.
One, we have one, already.
Who's that?
Ranger.
Charles Landis?
That's on River Road?
Yeah, the Landis and Nate's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess everybody was saying it at once, I couldn't hear it at all.
So, do I get a motion to,
I don't know, he would vote, I wouldn't vote.
okay.
If he was there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So it is an alternate position.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna pass.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to talk to you guys later about a few things,
Okay.
whenever you want.
Lynn Eldridge, is that the, this one here?
No,
No,
that's,
that's all the key.
Lynn Eldridge stuff is here.
Okay.
She's not here, is she?
No.
So, we'll just put it aside.
Okay. Town clerk, decision on town office hours.
Debbie said that we can punt on that, and she'll talk to you about it.
Okay. So you want to change the hours or something?
It has to do with, the Saturday morning that she's open and the auxiliary is here at the same time. When you're open at the same time. There's, I think, some challenges with, different things, parking and handicap positions and different stuff, so she said she would talk to you about it later.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Spectrum Northeast LLC, Charter Communication Franchise Agreement.
Are we in an agreement with them now?
I believe we have one that's expiring,
Okay.
and this is something that's periodically come up where they renew their franchise for cable TV service. As you know, the whole TV, internet communications business has revolutionized, in the last 8 to 10 years. But there's a couple of things that, come with this. One is, I don't think that we own any of the poles that they're mounted on, so that agreement comes with other people, it's not with us. But it, one of it is the, franchise fee that they, a certain percentage of it comes back to, support the what's called TV2. It's kind of devolved a bit too. I don't know that we actually see a TV2 channel on Spectrum. I don't know, because I don't get their service anymore. But I do know that the money goes to the Soccerby Valley, visual ed folks, and they buy the equipment that they come and they, record the town meetings, and they record events over at the school and basketball games and whatnot. In fact, I saw a live streaming of my granddaughter's basketball game the other night. Pretty good, actually. So I think for the purposes of that, then it's probably worthwhile. I don't see any downside to it to the town at this point. I do know that there are other companies providing similar service. What's the old landline company used to be? It's called,
Fairpoint.
Fairpoint.
Yeah.
It's evolved and is consolidated, I think.
Yeah.
And they also now have a, fiber optic network that they're building out. You can see them advertised. In fact, I don't, if you wanted to get a landline anymore, I don't think they'd give you one.
Yeah.
My sister wanted to rent a landline from them, and they refused to give it to her. So,
I'm sure our kids don't know what they are. I'm sure our kids don't know what they are.
Dial-up service.
Yeah, dial-up.
But anyway, I think that they will compete, anyway with them, and of course, Elon Musk competes with them, for their services, so.
Yeah, I just couldn't really, like, wrap my brain around you know, you told me about the funding for that, but as far as what else would entice us to even care about it, you know? I don't know,
It's a legacy.
yeah, it doesn't inhibit or deter us from doing anything else with anybody else, does it? Because,
I don't think we need to do anything, quite honestly, I think,
well, we have the right to permissions for the other people to swing their fire around.
we don't have any agreements with, Consolidated, for the fiber optic network that they're putting up, that's between them and whoever poles they're using.
Yeah.
Elon Musk doesn't come and ask us for a concession or any of the other ones, so. I don't know. You still use, Spectrum, or whatever they call themselves now, Comcast, for internet service, cable service. That's the best I can get, but.
Starlight doesn't do it for you right there?
I don't use Starlink.
No.
No.
That's why you said Elon, I didn't know he had another,
Well, Starlink does his,
yeah, internet and cable.
well, Starlink, doesn't do cable, he just does.
Yeah, no,
over the air, over,
streaming.
Yeah,
whatever,
streaming.
yeah. I know my bill went from $240 for Spectrum to $85 on Starlink, so.
You use
I don't-
Starlink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever did,
Yeah,
mainly because I don't watch TV, I just use it for the internet and
yeah.
whatever, so. Yeah, I don't know. Is it something that, I mean, can we just table until next week until they can, just better understand it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if it's pressing or anything, I tried to read it.
If you,
The contract.
you go right to the end of all of their, franchise agreements with all the 5 towns, and they have a map
Mm.
of the areas that are served. And every road in Baldwin is fully served.
Even though it's not.
That's what they
No,
said.
we do not get Spectrum, and I think it's funny that when it was Adelphia that came to the town, and 90% of the people were from the north end of town, and we're the ones that didn't get, Adelphia and now Spectrum.
But there's a caveat in their, thing that says they serve it, but only if there's, I think, like 15 customers per mile. They'll run the line and drop it to each house. They have to have 15 paying customers. Without that, then the people who want it have to share the cost.
Yeah, it's 29, it was back, 7 years ago, it was $29,000 to run it from, Route 11 to my house. I said, screw you.
So that's the, and I looked on it, every town, has the same map, everything is fully served, or they will serve every town, every road in every town, if you pay.
And this is why I have Starlink.
Okay.
All right, online mapper.
Well, I sent a statement of work out to planning board.
Yeah, and I responded to you on, I also have another suggestion, we have a couple more things, like, FEMA flood map.
That's on there, yeah.
And, soils map.
And the what?
Soils map, there's a county soils map.
Yeah, I think I put it on there, but,
And there would be, I think that would complete the picture. Just show you what I did, I mean, this is, when I came to Baldwin, as an engineer and planner, I wanted to get familiar with Baldwin, so I started putting together my own map. I'll give you this one. see what they could look like. This one I use is the USGS with the basement. That's why I suggest the basement. You start to see what's happening. And you can, just getting familiar with GIS, and I've always had somebody do it now. And it's, USGS is available as a, what they call an overlay or a, what they call shape, they call it shape. But, you know, we start without the USGS, this is the Sioux Falls one. What I did here is, I made my own shapes, and I was able to take the tax maps, put them under. If you look carefully, you can see every lot. There's every lot number, and so forth. What the GIS can do is they can actually take these lot numbers, you tap on them, you know, go into a database and give you the data on it, which is really beautiful. So, I think it could look like something like this. I also put on here the shoreline protection on this map. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, this is different layers. I use Photoshop as a base, but everything's layered on here. It's very similar. I can turn them off and turn them on.
Yeah.
This was good for me as sitting on a planning board or as working with customers. You know, to have a map like this, I could pull right to somebody's lot and I said, hey, this is what you got here. When you look at the highlands, it's a steep slope, you know, right away. I think this would be something very beneficial to you, Ken, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if the end product could look like this, it'd be great.
Yep, did you look at the one for, Ford?
Ford was good, I like it, I think we could do
A little bit better.
it better.
Yep.
Yep, I think we did. You know, anyway, to show you what it could look like, this is what I had done, and,
Yep, no,
it's been very beneficial to me. I mean, I got to know a lot about Baldwin when I did this thing, and coming here, this stretch is really helpful. So I'll give you each one, this is some idea what it could look like,
yeah.
okay? Good, yeah.
Good.
And if you need help, you know, looking, redoing things.
Well, I think the next thing to do is, we can put an ad in, MMA's website. I'll write something up a little more descriptively. And,
You know, what we can do though, we can, with ArcGIS Pro, we can actually download a website. Once the map is, somebody else prepares a GIS map, we have access to all the shapes that we can find. We get enter them on our own.
well, a lot of them are public, but it's what.
It's a lot of public, but a lot of them are gonna, you know, I went out and researched what's available for Baldwin. There aren't a heck of a lot of shapes. I think you've identified some on these couple of exhibits that you have on the wall here, and that's about it. That's existing right now for Baldwin. So, somebody's gonna have to create shapes.
Yep.
And that's probably gonna come to people you hire.
Well, the lots are, shape files come from, Cumberland County.
That came from Cumberland County.
And that's part of their database, and
I don't know if you'd go and change that, though.
yeah, I don't know if we want to, but.
I don't think you'd wanna change that, because there's a lot of errors and so forth in it. But I think if it's a matter of, you know, creating, like, if you wanna, like, what you were talking about, Bob, was putting on subdivisions. That's something we could, you know, we would do, that wouldn't be public information as beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, if we had that work site,
You know, all the lots that are in the subdivision, you could do it as an overlay.
and you could do it as an overlay, do it yourself.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody on staff that was trained to do it, that'd be the way to go. Once the GSI map is done, it's put together, the town would have the ability to change it if they had to.
There's one caveat that I would say is, when we do it ourselves, and then we retire, then who does it? And whereas if we can hire somebody to do it,
You have to go back to them for every change you want to make,
there's people there at the company. I don't know. Anyway,
I just see one thing wrong with this map.
what do you see?
Off from Wigan Road,
Yeah.
is it Sanborn Cemetery?
Yeah.
There isn't one down there. Was it one there?
I came right off USGS.
You know, but all that stuff is.
There was one there, I tell you.
No, I thought that one cross.
No, this goes right off the brook, coming down through my land. I know there's a cemetery there.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot of stuff that's on public, maps are not right. Like the Flint Cemetery on, they generally show it closer to, where that new house is now on Marston Road, at the end of the pond. It's
Uh-huh.
actually over here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, how would we go back and sanitize those?
Because
There's public information, what do we do, you know?
Yep, well, we can,
And if you take the USGS, that's already a shapefile out there,
yeah.
and that's it. You know, and if we see these errors, how do we publish that, or what do we do with that?
Yeah, so, all right, good, thank you.
Town ordinance versus state legislation, so. It sounds like David Lori changed the story on that?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk
Thank
about.
you. Yeah.
I think what we need to do is, rather than jump and react,
Yeah, let's read 1829 today. It's
continue
very
with the,
clear that,
continue with the guidance that we received, and, press on with whatever we're gonna do to update the ordinances.
I think that's all we can do at this point, like the discussion we all had at the last planning board meeting is to, further our efforts, or start our efforts and find with compliance with the next.
but if you read it, I read it today.
And
And
then
actually,
somebody comes in and says, you didn't do this, say, well,
state law has precedence over
we're trying,
town ordinance.
you know?
Yeah.
But it always has.
Okay, so what do we do with that? I mean,
Slippery slope.
Ken, how do we do with that?
Don't ask me.
And we get the letter from our attorney, says basically the same thing, the way I read it.
Yeah.
My training says it's state law.
State law over local.
That's just what my training says. So, yeah.
I sort of agree with you on that, but, if you go into, the stuff that's in 1829, it's really,
It's bad.
it's bad. We get 4 units on a lot, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody, what would you do if somebody came in and said, I wanna put 4 units on a lot right now?
Well, they have, I think they realized that they went a little too far and they gave some back. They released another LD, I can't remember which one it was, but it has to deal with like infrastructure, storm drainage. There's stuff that we can do locally.
Yeah, there's a couple caveats in there, I saw that.
But they are not, Bob and I were talking about this, I thought you could make it so that you had to have like a principal owner in one unit. It has to be there, but that's not.
It's not the case.
It
Doesn't
change that.
You know, you can have an ADU and you could have 3 other units. None of them have to be, this is 1829, none of them have to be owner occupied.
Right. Yeah, they're not stopping, Airbnbs either, which I don't agree with. Yeah, like you said, someone could put 4 ADUs on a piece of property and rent it out for Airbnbs.
That's it. That's exactly right.
But,
And then the other one I was saw today is if you had, when multi-family, and you had 4 units on any lot, brand new lot, would not have to go to planning board,
Right now, it would.
but according to 1829.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact language, but I think
Yeah.
that's what they said.
That's what
I
they
can't
said.
remember if they said 3 or 4.
It was 4 units in a building.
Well, you know, we can talk about this a lot, but I think what we have to remember is, right now, the 1829, we don't have to comply with it. It doesn't, we're not required to comply until June 1st, for July 1st of 2027. It would be good to understand how we're gonna do it by then, but between now and then, we are required to comply.
Or if there's a way we can object to it, I mean, it's just some way.
You can object all you want, but.
I know, along with, was it Matt saying something about Wyndham, there are other bigger municipalities, like Scarborough is sending message to the state saying, this is messy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mess it up,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's gonna do anything.
Yeah, I don't know either, but.
So, the direction now is
Carry on what we're doing.
carry on what we're doing, right, and
Right.
somebody.
I mean, this is, you know,
Somebody
it's-
sues us, that's it, right, we take it to
Yeah.
court.
It's well worthy of conversation in the future, to design what we're doing until then. You know, that's irrelevant of sorts, you know, until we get that certificate of compliance. But,
Something to talk to the planning board about how they wanna move forward with it, but we talked about moving forward and getting an ordinance passed.
I don't think it's clear to me on the planning board what to do. So, I don't know about you, Joe, are you clear on it?
What?
Are you clear on what to do, how to deal with this?
What?
Yeah, exactly, got it. I'm gonna look to you, Ken, to help us with this one.
Well, I talked to Dale, I talked to Bob, I talked to Joe about helping out with the ordinance language, not being the author, but to help write the language. I have the tools to do it on the computer. I've taken all of the courses for it, the language for it. I can help, what's the word for it? Not facilitate. Move it along a little bit, get it going, at least get it to a point where we can send it off to something planning development or Lori or something. But, I was requesting to be like the place where the repository would be, where all the redlining would come in, and I just be the.
We could take it to public, to the
Right.
public, see
Right.
what they say.
Right.
If they vote it
Rather
down.
than waiting for it to
then
come
we're-
back from. It was a.
It's a mess.
It's an idea I brought forward to see if it'd be helpful. I don't know if everybody else would be okay with that, it's fine either way.
So at this point, we just carry on with what we're doing, enforcing the ordinance, and that's it. See what happens.
Yeah, I've had some conversations with some people with ADUs, and I'm trying to steer them a little bit away from trying to kind of, not really delay it, but just kind of, just say, just hold on just a second until we get the ordinances written and the laws are more clear about what we're supposed to be doing. So, and everybody seems to be fine with that.
Yeah.
There's not any push for ADUs right now. So, but they, once the word gets out, they might be.
Okay.
Talk about it at the planning board.
We'll talk about this more, I just wanted to, bring it back to the selectmen that we have concern in. Or I have concern, maybe the others don't have concern.
2025 statewide housing survey. We don't have to do it.
A little late.
Huh?
A little late.
Yeah. That's fine. Really?
it's another one of them LDs that they, towns over 4,000,
Who did the letter come?
they methodically track everything for you.
Did it
and
come to the select board, or did it come to the?
help you achieve your goals for the house and
Okay.
And I passed it
so you
along
can
to
better review
Bob,
progress and.
Bob.
Yeah.
It came from both,
Good pressure on
both
Yeah,
me and
but-
Court, because
Because
that's
it's
where I
paid with
was
us, so-
concerned that he might just go ahead and
Why
complete
do
it
it?
before we had the discussion. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things to check off those to-do lists and
Yeah.
get it done.
If you like, I will respond.
Okay.
reminders, the town office is closed every Monday this month.
Joe, you got anything? Mary?
No, I don't, thank you for asking.
Okay. You got anything else, John?
One thing that was mentioned, Bob mentioned that planning board, we had some guidance for, building permits, building codes. Did you find that?
I've got it. I did the research of what happened to the Ballman building ordinance. It was separate and distinct from the land use ordinance. I haven't been able to find the latest version of the building ordinance. There's a couple places I guess I could check. One would be Jeff Sanborn, because I think the last town meeting that they amended the building ordinance was 2012. Got a copy of it and what it said. I don't know, if I could talk to Jeff Sanborn, I think he was on the board at that time. Might be able to find, Brandon Woolley, if he's got a copy of it, he was code enforcement officer at the time.
Here's
What
what
it, at the end of the day, what does it do for us, I don't know, but.
Here's why I ask. I'm an architect, and someone's coming to me and wants me to design something for them. What's my responsibility?
Get past the code enforcement officer.
Like
Design to move that standards,
That's the way I would approach it.
but it's a state law.
State law.
Yeah.
Clearly on that, okay? Again, this is a case where state law is gonna supersede local, whatever it is. Does it? I mean, if we had a local standard, as an architect, I could not enforce anything other than state law. Am I right?
Right. Technically, from what I understand, we don't have an adopted building code in the town, so that means technically, there is no enforceable building code except for MUBEC, which is statewide, and they don't do any type of residential inspection, they do commercial and industrial, but
Again,
I'm not 100% sure on the legality of it covering everybody and answering your question.
we could have further discussion on this, but, to me, it's something I'm uneasy about right now. I mean, I definitely would design it according with the IRC house.
Yeah.
You're not
IRC, yeah, was 2015 or something like that.
2023, I think, just came in there. So, anyway, you don't do inspections, no footing inspections, no framing inspections, none of that. Does that fall on me?
The onus is on the person building.
Yes, and I'm working for that person, so it's on me then.
My angle is if I have safety, the safety angle, I can go in and say, you don't have handrails, you don't have smoke detectors, and that kind of stuff, but I can't go in and say, yeah, you don't have your truss brakes properly.
Or you don't have enough nails in that sheeting, I mean, that's like, it goes out to that type of detail.
Yeah.
Or the frost wall on the foundation is not deep enough.
Yeah, what about energy codes?
Same.
So, I know because for less than 4,000 people, it goes to home rule. But that's why I'm asking, what's the home rule?
We have one, we just don't know where it is.
Okay. You gotta look for it, you can go look fast.
Huh?
You look
I
for it.
remember that, maybe I remember that, huh?
I've got,
Can't find it.
I've got a whole lot of data I just compiled the other day. Let me see if I got it there. I don't know if I brought it with me, but, you know, it's a,
The other thing I haven't 100% confirmed yet is that it was stated somewhere that when MUBEC was adopted, that negated all other building, local building codes.
I I've seen
the
that.
BOCA and all that stuff.
I've seen that, too.
So,
They're very clear as to what the
if
codes
you find it, I'm not even sure if it's.
It's actually, right there, move back what codes apply. So,
You know, it's funny because the last amendment on the books was in 2012 town meeting. It said that it could be amended to make the building code up to the 1996.
BOCA.
at that time was BOCA.
Which I looked that up too, they pulled it in 99 and pulled it into the, what is it, ICC? which is-
Well, whatever, but you know, we'll see if I can find it.
I appreciate that.
So I've got the original one.
But then I'm-
Passed in 1970, and it's very detailed discussion about how you build a house, you know.
But then I might have a client that says, I don't wanna follow, IRC, I don't wanna follow the energy code. I just have to walk away from that. That's at that point.
Yeah, you can't force a customer to do what they don't wanna do.
Right.
That'd be okay.
I just have to walk away.
Okay.
Too bad for me.
Yeah, I mean, the only other option would be to let us to adopt everything that the state of Maine, we don't have to do the MUBIC. Towns under 2,000, I've read, you don't have to require, even if you do have a code, you don't have to require, an occupancy permit.
No.
That's right in the state of Maine
That's the other
legislature.
thing. That blew me away when I moved to
Yeah.
Maine. Didn't mean to see yellow on the house.
Yeah.
So if you update VOCA to whatever the latest thing is, where you need a fire sprinkler and a tank and I mean, it gets expensive, and that is one of the reasons why people are coming to Baldwin, because it's cheaper to come here, because we don't have a code.
There's a reason
We
why
don't
there's a
force
code.
a bunch of
There's a
stuff.
reason why there's a code.
It's to make it expensive to build in George Portland.
Well,
Like
like
I say,
you said, you know, it makes houses more
Anyway.
expensive, and that's why we have auxiliary dwelling ordinances from the state, because nobody can afford to build them, so they're building these little ones,
I
and
don't know if you read,
so,
there's if you read, Portland Press Herald, they've got some kind of a program that they're sponsoring about ADUs and to help teach people about ADU building and stuff. But if you go on there, it's scary.
It's scary.
ADU is not cheap.
Very scary.
Yeah. And that's why Baldwin doesn't have all those rules, because we think people ought to be able to build houses if they wanna build houses. It's basically, you know, live and let live.
Okay. I come from a different way.
What if you were to
My
design
point of
it,
view is like, there's a reason for codes, and it's basically life safety. There's a reason why you do things.
so could you present somebody an architectural drawing that has everything in it that you feel is necessary, and then they could decide whether or not, when they go to build it, whether or not they implement everything on your design?
I'm gonna have a caveat in my contract.
There's a lot of things that go into the decision. What the banks will pay for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When they were building my house, the discussion was, I remember Brandon Woolley and the engineer and the builder all talking about sprinklers. Because that was in 2010, and the new code was, sprinklers was on the thing, and the other contentious thing was the amount of insulation in the attic. And,
Where do you put it?
Huh?
Where do you put it?
where do you stack it up, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, the codes are clear on all this stuff, so. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is a concern, I'll just raise it again.
Anyway, good.
anything else?
I could go on, but I'm not.
Yeah, you got it?
I can get it.
There you go. Bruce? Anything else?
I do, because saying this out loud. I'm requesting that the select board enter executive session pursuant to 1 Maine Revised Statute, section 405, subsection 6, paragraph E, to discuss the town's legal rights
and duties in a pending code enforcement matter.
Okay, I second that.
Well, I will move what he suggested, because one of the board is to make the motion.
Second.
And Dale, you can second it, or?
Yeah,
Oh, did
I'll
I just make the motion, is that what I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did that.